Testing. Testing. All right. We are going. Whoa. Clayton, thank you for resubscribing. I will not be playing eggs on stream, unfortunately. I do not like playing eggs without knowing the deck. I'll do it for a video. I'll be happy to do it for a mad meta or something, but I don't want to do it on a stream when I'm not prepared for it. It takes way too long to learn, but I want to do it prep. I will do it. I just want to do it justice. So one of the decks I've been working on, though, that I have played some, I have the food deck, I have a monoblue turns deck, which needs work. I've got a few other ideas for decks I want to play, but I don't have all the new cards yet. Sissio, welcome. How's it going? Let's see where I put it. I have to delete a lot of these lists. What did I do with it? Thought it was U-turns. They need a search function for people like me. Although I don't want them to change Moto for the worse. What the heck did I do with it? This is why we have naming conventions. Did it not save? I could have sworn. Unless I named it something really weird. Yeah. Oh, here it is. I, for some reason, prefaced it with MH2 and wasn't looking for that. So this is my mono blue turns list I was working on. The problem right now with it is that it does not win fast enough. It can take a lot of turns and gain a lot of advantage, but it does not win quickly enough. I will not be playing Mono Black Tron, not with Cabal Coffers being legal. I'm sorry. Cabal Coffers is what that deck wanted to be. So this list is running. We have Ancestral Visions, Inevitable Betrayal, and Soul Talisman. I was thinking, what is that card? The blue, pick up an instant or sorcery out of your grave, put it in your hand. Oh, what is that card? It's blue. It is a sorcery. Its mana value is 2. Flood of Recollection. This is the card I was looking for. So I didn't like Counterspell and Snapcaster in this deck. So I was actually going to try playing Flood of Recollection. I have, did the bot notify people yet? Okay, it did. I need to drop the 3 slot down quite a bit. So I think... XPhoenix22, thank you for following. I recognize that spelling. Is that a new account? Let's see. I like Brazen Borrower still. No Jace the Mind Sculptor. I wasn't playing any, no. That's probably reasonable. Yes, that's true. I got a haircut. For all of you, don't be shocked. The long hair is gone. I'm not a model. I don't have an OnlyFans. But welcome, Joest. Glad to have you. I think we're going to go... You know, I'll drop the Archmage's Charmer. We'll play Jace. Flood of Recollection. It's a 2-mana sorcery that picks up an instant or sorcery out of your grave. Alright, we'll play a Jace the Mind Sculptor. The Brainstorm probably matters a lot. At least as a one-of. Ah, I see. And then I think we'll try taking this into a 2-man and see how we do. Welcome. How's it going? I have no idea how to say your name, so Esper got E-Games? I don't know. You're brewing Mono Red Prison? That sounds like fun. And by fun, I mean for you, not your opponent. Well, I'm not keeping a triple Temporal Mastery hand. So let's mulligan from 4 to 6, shall we? I can probably keep this, but I think we can do better on 5. Alright, I will keep this. So we'll put back Temporal, put back Temporal. Yeah, Simian Spirit Guide did a lot for red-based decks. Especially red-based decks that weren't just mono-red aggro. Opponent leads on Steam Vents, cast Serum Visions. We untap. We'll play a Clearwater Pathway just to throw our opponent off. They gave you a more fair version of Spirit, and what would that be? Opponent leads on Serum Visions again. Strike it rich? I guess. It's mana 1 turn after you want it. They play a Stomping Ground, and they suspend Crashing Footfalls. So this is the Teamer Footfalls deck. We cannot reveal Temporal Mastery, unfortunately. I will suspend Ancestral Visions, pass the turn. Soul Talisman seems strictly better in Citadel Storm. Can't wait to playtest it. Do you mean then strictly better than in this deck? Or... Wow, Dick Record, thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. It's not my birthday. Don't lie to people. But thank you, I appreciate it. Opponent plays a Spire Bluff Canal. It's not my birthday. We already did a birthday stream this year. What's wrong with you guys? Opponent plays a Wrenn and 6. They're going to pick up their Misty. It's possible I should have held that Ancestral. Garnoth, thank you for following. We untap, stuff starts ticking down. It's not my birthday, Garnoth! You guys are confusing the new people. Plays Castle Vantress, pass the turn. We'll get a Soul Talisman next turn. I'm not a phony. Oh my gosh. This guy's a phony. Wait a minute, did I get a second raid? A lot of people. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. So we'll cast a Soul Talisman. We draw Brazen Borrower. Play an island, and we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Oh, I can turn the game sound down a little bit. I actually have to play with it on because I've done it for so long. It helps me remember certain things by audio cues. But it's just for me to hear them. I haven't figured out how to not have them come through yet. Let me turn them down even more. The Crashing Footfalls still on 1. Opponent plays a Steam Vents tapped. Remember to drink water. Actually, that's not a bad idea. They suspend another Footfalls. I don't think this person knows how suspend cards work. You're supposed to cascade into them, opponent, says the guy suspending cards of his own. So we can either flash in Brazen Borrower. I actually think we scry, because if we hit a land, we can cast Temporal. Flood of Recollection to the bottom, Time Warp to the top. We'll untap. Ancestral Vision's ticking down to 1. Draw Time Warp. Time Warp. Time Warp resolves. We untap. Ancestral Visions. Ticks down to 0. We draw 3 cards. All lands. Then we draw Inevitable Betrayal. Play an island. Cast Temporal Mastery. I imagine they were the Cascade deck, but they might just have Electro Dominance or something. They might be Electro Dominance as foretold. We untap, we draw Ancestral. Play an island. Flood of Recollection. Pick up Time Warp. Yeah, I did get a haircut. I feel a lot better. I'm not roasting in a 1,000,000-degree desert. Suspend Ancestral Visions. We untap. We draw Clock Spinning. Yes, this deck is running Clock Spinning. Just remember to target yourself, Big No. No one will ever let you live down that time you did the thing. Okay, so you know what's... Oh, you know what? They are definitely Electro Dominance because they've got a Gargadon. I am actually going to cast with Buyback, and we're going to put a counter on their Crashing Footfalls past the turn. Jaw drops to floor. Eyes pop out of sockets accompanied by trumpets. Heart beats out of chest. A wooga sound effect. Pulls chain train on train whistle that has appeared next to head as steam blows out. Slams fist on table, rattling any plates, bowls, or silverware. Whistles loudly. Fireworks shoot from the top of head. Pants loudly as tongue hangs out of mouth. Wipes comically large bead of sweat from forehead. Clears throat. Straightens tie. Combs hair. Ahem, you look very lovely. Man, I was in the Looney Tunes for a second. All right. Opponent picks up Misty. If they play out Misty, they're not going to... Yes, you may, Garnoth. How can I help you? Six Sigma, welcome. Opponent suspends another Gargadon. May I ask a question? Yes, of course you may. Wait, is it set to follower only? It shouldn't be. Really? Okay, hang on. Follower only chat. Thank you, Six Sigma. Thank you. I must have misclicked because that was not intentional. Yeah, Dick Records a pretty cool guy. He likes to hassle me. So we're gonna petty theft their Renin 6, and then flash in Brazen Borrower. Answer: Kano can't read. We untap. Ancestral Vision's ticking down to 2. We draw Savor the Moment. So go to combat. Well, I'm glad. You've been here for 2 seconds and you enjoy it. That's a good sign. Alright. We hit them down to 12. On our second main, we'll go ahead and cast Savor the Moment. Then we don't untap. Ancestral Visions ticks down to 1. We draw River Glide Pathway. Yes, I do appreciate that. That was very, very nice of you. Play River Glide Pathway, and we're going to clock spinning, take a counter off of Ancestral Visions. Just got here what's going on. We're playing monoblue turns with a bunch of silly cards in it. I'm playing a singleton clock spinning, and it's been hilariously good. So remove a counter from Ancestral Visions. Let's go ahead and draw some cards. We get Subtlety, Serum Visions, and Inevitable... and River of Tears. We were holding Inevitable Betrayal. So Serum Visions. Let's see if I can't draw Time Warp. Obero. Hengegate, Force to the bottom. And... it is unlikely that I will need to Subtlety. But I guess I can leave up the option to do so. Pass the turn. We can also scry with Castle Vantress. Right, what's all this then? Welcome, Vladbat. I think you've been here before. It's been a while. But glad to have you. Gargadon's ticking down. Opponent's going to make some Rhinos. I just realized I'm hiding all of his suspended cards under Porter. Alright. Crashing Footfalls, coming off Suspend. Making some Rhinos. Ancestral Visions, coming off Suspend. They're going to draw a bunch of cards. Other Crashing Footfalls ticking down. Am I going to try out Cabal Control on stream? I actually just recorded a video for it. It is not as good as the first video, unfortunately. But I found the deck's weakness. The, like, 2 narrow weaknesses that it has. Porter is more important than the suspended cards. Aren't you worried that somebody promoting an OnlyFans that's not yours in chat? Garnoth, you got an OnlyFans? Oh, man. Alright, so... opponent was trying to cast Ren and 6 on their upkeep, I think. They play a Fiery Islet. You weren't supposed to tell. They cycle Fiery Islet. Alright. If they cast Ren and 6, I'm going to Subtlety it to the top of their deck. Actually, I don't even think I care about a Ren and 6 if they just play it and pick up a land. Yeah, I'm going to scry with Castle Vantress. That's another one of the memes here. Besides wishing me a birthday every day of the week, they try and claim that I have an OnlyFans and a grinder, and I don't. So, scry these to the bottom. We untap. We draw. Oh, the meme is elevating. He has several OnlyFans. Play. Yeah, let's play an island. I suppose I should have suspended Inevitable Betrayal, but I did not. How much mana do I have? 6, 9, 10, 11. This is 5 to activate, which leaves me with 6, which means I need to just hold up Subtlety. Okay, pass the turn. Alfred, it's not my birthday, but thank you. Garnoth, it's not my birthday, but thank you. With hair like that, we know you have a grinder? I don't even know what that means. Is looking French? Oh my gosh, not the French. Receding? Really? Is it that bad? Can you tell? I do have a high hairline, and that's likely how I will bald. I mean, I guess it's technically the beginning of balding, so fancy hair. Maybe Kano's forehead is growing. Uh-oh, I'll look like Braino in no time. So, men bald like their mother's father balded. That's how you, like, however your mom's dad started to bald is how you'll bald. And my grandfather on my mom's side never lost all his hair. He just ended up having like a high forehead kind of situation going on. So, that's kind of early, Clayton. I'm sorry. It's not how that works. You sure? Opponent is thinking. Oh, you're balding like your dad? Fair enough. Neither myself nor my brother are balding like our father is. So, we're both thankful. It is X-linked, but you aren't guaranteed that your mother passed along the X chromosome. That's true. That does make sense. So maybe you just have a better chance of inheriting it from your mother than your father. Well, no, if you're a man and you inherited an X chromosome, you got it from your mother because you inherited your Y chromosome from your father. So yes. It could be it comes from the mom's side, just not necessarily from her father. That makes sense. We take 8. How's the super secret project going? Which super secret project? The one that I can't talk about? Either. So the one that I mentioned during my YouTube videos, I can't talk about, and it fell through. That's literally the extent of what I can tell you. I don't think there is another super secret project or anything like that. I mean, like I'll be doing a 17-hour drive on Friday, followed by a 5-hour drive the next day. But that's the only, I guess, quote unquote secret project. Ah, so that was fishing. You were on a fishing expedition to see if I had any other secret projects. So my opponent is casting Restore Balance. Chooses a number of lands they control. Well, this sucks. That is most certainly not what is happening. Chooses a number of lands they control. Well, this sucks. Let's go ahead and scry. Guess Island to the bottom and Ancestral to the bottom. Opponent, we sacrifice all our lands. Opponent has to sack all their creatures. We get to keep one card. Alright, we're just going to concede. This deck has problems winning fast enough, and I don't know why. Because, like, you can take 4 turns in a row, but that's generally not enough to win. Hey, man, it's okay. Everybody's got their own stuff they gotta handle. You don't have to... Sigma, you've done so much for me. You don't have, like, if you have to take time away from our collective moronic group, you can. Nobody's gonna be upset by that. I'm gonna bring in Commandeer so I can steal their rhinos. I'm gonna drop Subtlety because it's not good, and I'll cut an Inevitable Betrayal. But you can't keep everybody happy all the time. So you need to focus your energies where you need it most. And remember that whenever you're here and whenever you're not, we're still thinking about you and we like you. This is a mulligan. Yes, I do. It's horrible that it's taking so long. I think I have to keep this. And I think I have to put back Force. I have to play you and I have to play Mix'em. I have no time to do it this week either, which sucks. Because tomorrow I have to pack and I have to finish recording one more video, upload as many as I can, and then I have to. Well, I definitely didn't win because I lost a whole bunch. Why not put back Clock Spinning? Raylin, think of the meme. So yeah, Thursday I have to pack up my entire setup. We'll reveal Temporal Mastery without the lands to cast it for the swag. 15 different Cascade triggers. I'll have to restart the client for the game. Oh, man. Kano said swag. I might have to take back my subscription. Is this weekend good for you or early next? So Thursday I'm packing up. Friday I'm driving for 17 hours. Saturday I'm sleeping for a while, then driving 5 more hours. Sunday I'll be hanging out with my family. Monday through Friday I work. And that's the next Saturday. I have a family get-together. I'll only be there for, like, at most 3 weeks. It will not be anywhere near as long. But I will still be recording and still streaming as on Wednesdays if I can. I might have to finagle which day exactly it happens, but that's the plan. Alright, pass the turn. It will not be another I'm out of state for 3 months situation. I need to adjust the Porter cam. Oh yes, Porter adjusted himself, so. Fair. You know, I always forget that the 4th of July is... I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I'm going to be driving back around the 4th, aren't I? Let me look at a calendar. Oh, that's so horrible. I'll get there on like the 13th. I'll probably end up coming back. I was planning on coming back on the 9th. Maybe take another day to watch the fireworks. That's reasonable. Feel free to take a day on your birthday. I'm watching you, duder. 6'11". So, fun fact, I was originally super stressed because I've been trying to plan. My family's been wanting to do this get together thing because there's been, like, my cousins had some kids and my brother had a niece, or my brother had a daughter who is my niece, is what I was trying to say. And other than, like, the respective groups of parents and the grandparents, nobody has gotten to see the kids. I got to see my niece when I was home last. Damn it. You know what's awful is, like, as soon as I said that, I was like, they're gonna fucking carry that meme, aren't they? But, like... oh, jeez. So suspend Soul Talisman past the turn. Confirmed, brother had a niece, yeah. So we're doing a family get-together thing. And I was stressed because we're, like, trying to plan. Originally, I was going to go home in May. And then I was going to come back. And then they were like, no, we're pushing it back till June. And it's a big pain in my backside. And then my buddy calls me up and was like, yeah, man, I'm getting married in July. And I was like, when? And he's like, July 9th. And I was like, great. So now I have to plan around that too because he asked me to be a groomsman. And then I called him up because I was like, it's getting awful close. I need to get measured for a tuxedo if I'm going to be a groomsman for him. So I call him up and he's like, oh no, July of next year. I was like, that's not what you said. You said I'm getting married in July. Like, come on, man. How's your brother's niece on your birthday? My niece is fine. My brother doesn't have a niece. He's getting married in a July. Yes, but not in July. I think I'm dead, actually. Pass the turn. He doesn't have a niece yet. Oh, please. I plan to get married in 17 years in July. Just like the month. Oh my gosh, Sissia, not you too. You are one of the kind of sane followers. When you want to rebrand, but somebody already has the name you want. But it cycles a fiery islet. Untaps, as foretold. Taken up. Thank you, Dick Record. Dick Record! No! Gosh. You guys have clones? We could hit for 8. Go to 4. When we follow you, we need to give up our sanity. It's just one of the things we do for you. Frailin. This is looking bad, Chief. Yep, I agree. Opponent's also running counter spells because they're playing the As Foretold version and not the Cascade version. We will remove a counter. Untap. Cast Soul Talisman. We draw Island. Play an island. Cast Temporal. Alright, that's game. Alrighty. So who wants to see the latest version of monoblack? Which currently looks something like this. Let's see. Stick all that in a pile. Zoom, enhance. So, gosh dang it. So this is the version that I ended on after playing. My quad black slot seems a bit empty. We don't want Obliterator in this deck. Wormcoil Engine is better. Cabal Stronghold? Cabal Stronghold doesn't work very well. Cabal Coffers is amazing. If Cabal Stronghold even took 4 mana to activate, but counted any swamp and not basic swamps, it would be great. So this is where I ended post another league. And basically, I added Obnixilis Reignited as our late game draw engine of choice because somebody suggested it. I took out some of the fun ofs. Diabolic Tutor. We have Mastermind's Acquisition now, which is Diabolic Tutor or Diabolic Tutor for anything in your sideboard. It's Diabolic Tutor Plus. We also have Increasing Ambition, which continues to be one of the hard carry items of the entire deck. I mean, it's not when you can Cabal Coffers for 1,000,000 black mana. Okay, so this deck has 2 weaknesses I've discovered. The first weakness is you do not use your own resources correctly. So if you... I went down to 1 Collective Brutality because it's a really, really strong spell. But like if you're playing against a mono-red burn, and the correct choice is to like escalate Collective Brutality all the way to buy you as much time as possible, like draining them, killing something, and duressing a burn spell from their hand. The problem is you can't recoup the card advantage you lose unless you have a Maze Mind Tome out and it's like already going. Maze Mind Tome continues to also hard carry pretty well, but the problem is the constant mana sink is not fun. Kind of forces you to tap a little bit weird. And the second weakness for this deck, besides wasting your own resources when you're not supposed to, is Gaddock Teague. Oh, there's a third weakness, actually. So, wasting your own resources unnecessarily. Gaddock Teague actually shuts off 90% of this deck. Like, we could only kill it with Blood Chief's Thirst or Collective Brutality and nothing else. Unless we, like, duress it from them, of course. And then the third weakness of this deck is the Grief Flicker deck. That deck beats this deck because they blink their creatures out from underneath your removal spells. They take all of your win conditions from your hand and just leave you with removal spells. And they play Leyline of Sanctity so you can't hand hate them. That deck beats this deck. So if that deck becomes popular, we have to change up how this deck is built. Alright, I think I've left this on screen for a sufficient period of time. Let's take this into a 2-man. And I'll show it off. As soon as I find it. There it is. Yeah, Maze Mind is a super good spell. It frequently, like, scries me all the way to like Cabal coffers when we need it. It's so good. You haven't played MTG in 7 years? Wow. What was the last set that was released when you were playing? Have you tried Void Mirror yet? No, I haven't, actually. Oh, jeez. While I'm trying to casually bully him with a command. See, that's why it's okay to make fun of you, Sigma. It's because you make fun of me back in an equal and or more devastating way. You went to your first LGS event in over a year? I bet that was great. I can't wait to like start doing F&M drafts again. I am so starved for human attention on like a personal face-to-face basis. Casual bullying describes the Tuesday afternoon on the server. Oh my gosh. I don't know about that, but in a good way. I guess, yeah. You know who else is starved for human attention? Nah. He is going to be a wild animal in a 17-hour drive. Let me tell you. And that's 17 hours with stops planned, so like if it was somehow a straight drive, it would only be 15, but he's been doing. He actually like, so he's made that whole drive once before, but he was prescribed a. Yeah, he was. I guess if you want to call him that, he was prescribed a doggy downer for it. And after that situation where he just slept basically the whole ride except to get out for potty breaks, he's done really well in the car. He used to like panic about being in the car. He'd only ride for about 10 minutes quietly and then be like, oh, where are we going? What are we doing? And now he's just like, oh, we're going somewhere? I'll just hop in the back seat out. Like, he's really good in the vehicle now. The fear of the vet is more haunt to a pet than we know. Yeah, that's true. You know, I'm wondering if we should play Golos in this deck to tutor up Cabal coffers or Urborg. It's kind of in an awkward point on the curve, though, and we're never going to activate the second ability. We could play Solemn Simulacrum. That would be fun. Get some sad robot action going on. Halsey, welcome. How you been, man? I definitely didn't just wake up. I choose to believe that. Nobody's in the two-man queue right now. Everyone's afraid of Cabal coffers. They all be drafting that MH2. The card Modern didn't ask for. I want to say Grief is the card Modern didn't ask for. Yeah, were you up late? Oh, prediction? We could do a prediction. Yeah, me neither. I really don't enjoy the... I don't enjoy the evoke creatures. I especially despise the fact that you can ephemerate them. So prediction started. If you vote yes and I win, then you get the points. If you vote no and I lose, then you get the points. You have 2 minutes. We'll play first. I cannot keep the double Cabal Coffer's hand. That's a mulligan. This, on the other hand, is much better. Because I'm already holding 3 Erebos' Intervention, I'm going to put 1 back. You'll start him if I end him? Okay. Play a Swamp. 2.2k versus 10 points. We only have 10 points worth of doubt in the chat? Really? You guys got a lot of faith in this deck. 5.8k versus 10. Doubters, that looks like some easy points. Easy channel points. Not even real doubt. Opponent starts Steam Vents tapped. We draw Inquisition. Player Borg. 10k versus 10 points. Winners are gonna have to split 10 points. Inquisition our opponent. Snapcaster, Archmage's Charm, and Through the Breach. If my opponent actually threw the Breach as Emrakul this game, I'm going to tribute to Hunger to eat it. Take Archmage's Charm from them. Pass the turn. Oh, thanks, Sigma. Of all people, I knew you'd be the one to doubt. I'll go get the cake knives. All right, now we got a real bet. So opponent we untap. Opponent does nothing. We draw an Urborg. I think we're gonna 2-mode this. No, we'll just duress. Duress. I said. I just want the deck to win. That's fair. I really like this deck a lot. Let's see. Opponent has Prismari Command, Fire and Ice. I guess Fire and Ice. Is that restarting the client during sideboarding, I hear? I had to do that when I was playing the what's it called deck? Battle of Wits deck with the Lessons sideboard. Because there was no actual sideboarding, so I was just using that time to restart the client so I wouldn't run out of time. We untap. We draw Inquisition. Oh, you know what sucks? They're going to Prismari Command me, untap, play a land, and then I'm going to die to Emrakul. Yeah, I got a haircut, Halsey. It's all short and messed up because of my headphones. Go Doubters. Oh no. I knew I should have duressed the Through the Breach. I'm gonna die. Like, half the times I die with this deck, it's because I drew too many Urborgs. What are those Through the Breach, Emrakul? Pass the turn. How many Urborgs are in the deck? I play 3 because I want to draw one every game, but I don't want to draw multiples. They didn't have a land. We didn't draw a land either. Pass the turn. Not enough Urborg? Needs more Urborg? No. Okay, a tap land. Last chance. Come on, Swamp. I am so sad. I have the card that wins. And we can't play it because I'm holding a legendary land I already have. You're not rich. You're not rich until the match is over. Okay. So, versus this deck, I'm bringing in Thought Distortion. I'll bring in Gonti. Collective Brutalities are coming in as more Duresses. And Surgicals are coming in as well. Blood Chief's Thirst we're going to drop. Dismember's coming out. And I think Ugin is coming out, as well as Consuming Vapors. And one Erebos' Intervention. Goodbye, channel points. that feel when I will never financially recover from this. Alright, we'll play first. One Inquisition does not a hand make, Mulligan. This could be worse. I will keep this. Put back Liliana. What was the first video that you did the translation thing? You said it twice? I don't remember which video it was. No, Garnoth, it's the, I have to win or lose the match is what the prediction's for, not the game. Opponent leads on Spire Bluff Canal, alright. We untap. We draw Gonti. Oh no. Things are not looking good for our intrepid hero. Duress. The experienced doubter versus the new doubter. Don't worry, he'll fuck it up. It's just like, drop Remand, pass the turn. Mana Screw is not how I want to lose half my points. I need you to punt it to a win, please. But it plays an island, which they did not have before. We draw Mastermind's Acquisition. Alright, time to duress again. Get rid of Cryptic. The good news is it would appear that our opponent is far from comboing. But it plays an island. We untap. We draw. Swamp. There's a swamp. Play the swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent might click themselves, actually, here. I think that would be correct. That sucks. That really sucks. Sorry, Halsey. So opponent is going to Valakut Awakening. We have no idea what they're putting back or what they have now. I think they kept Emrakul. If I had to guess, they play a Temple of Epiphany. We need to draw Tribute to Hunger, exactly? Castle Lochthwain is not it. Play the castle. What are the odds they have land through the breach, huh? Tutor for tribute and hope they don't have it. All right. I don't think we really have any other actual lines, so pass the turn. A Force of Despair out of the side wouldn't be the worst for this kind of matchup. Jawest, you've told the truth. Pass the turn. Put an Archmage's Charm to draw cards. They untap. And they pass. I could activate Castle, but that seems suicidal. We untap. Draw Inquisition. Alright. That helps a little bit. Archmage's Charm, they're going to draw cards. Okay. They have Emrakul through the breach. We'll take Remand. Pass the turn. Alright, come on. Through the breach, Emrakul. There's never been a better time. They play Lava Glide Pathway. Through the breach. On their main phase. Putting in Emrakul. Beginning of combat. Tribute to Hunger? Yes! We ate the Eldrazi. Alright, untap. We draw Urborg. I think we try and play Obnixilis here. We need to start drawing extra cards. Okay, Obnixilis resolves. Draw a card. Cabal Coffers. There we go. We're going to have the mana. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They Valakut Awakening, so we no longer have any idea what they're playing. They play a land. Then they pass. We untap. We draw Liliana of the Dark Realms. Draw a card. Another Obnixilis. Add a bunch of mana. Play Liliana. Is this a Cryptic? It's Archmage's Charm counterspell. Okay. Play Gaunty. Take a look at their hand. Well, not their hand, but the top 4 cards of their deck. Take the pathway. I don't really care about the lightning bolts. Play our other Urborg. Keep the untapped one. Pass the turn. Wait a minute. Did I not click the land? I thought I clicked the land. Isn't there supposed to be a land? Moto punt. I either clicked the wrong spot on the interface or there's a moto bug. Alright. They do nothing. We untap. We draw another Baleful Mastery. Draw an extra card. It's always Kano. We draw Thought Distortion. Perfect. Add a bunch of mana. Say discard your whole hand. I mean, it usually is you, Kano. Exile one of them face down. You may look at and cast. Oh, yeah, it says cast, not play. Yep, you're right. Opponent is going to Cryptic, bounce Obnixilis, and draw. Did you just read? I should have taken the bolt then, but you know me. Kano drinking game, take 2 shots every time he reads a card. No! We get shocked. They make a treasure. Alright, whatever's left in your hand. We get rid of the counterspell. Then we go to combat. And attack. They untap. Pretty sure if they threw the Breach Me, I'm actually dead. Valakut Awakening. Opponent puts their whole hand back, draws 3 new cards. I play a Steam Vents tapped. We untap. Draw Surgical. Okay, that is potentially strong. Add a bunch of black mana. Play Obnixilis. Draw a card. Erebos' Intervention. Alright. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent takes 2, goes to 16. We pass. They untap. Draw a card. They play a land. And they pass. We untap. We draw Urborg. Draw a card. Maze Mine Tome. Alright. Activate Coffers. Play Tome. Draw card. Another Coffers. Play the new one. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent goes to 14. We pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. They pass. We untap. We draw another Erebos' Intervention. Uptick Obnixilis. No, because they could still burn us out. Go to combat. Attack for 2. I could Surgical to peek at their hand. And if they don't have a counterspell, probably just consume Spirit for lethal. Get the Stealing and the Death Touch, but aren't there any other better options? Generally, it's just good versus like heavy mid-range and control decks. I think I am going to Surgical just to take a look. I was actually... So, I learned that the Douthie Rogue card, the black 3/2 with Shadow, lets you cast the spell without paying its mana cost, which probably means I should be playing that card in this deck. Opponent is going to Snapcaster Mage. They're going to target Remand. So we are going to exile Remand. Good luck getting them. Actually, in one of my first Moto drafts of MH2, I passed that card because I did not read it. Oh, apparently I surgicaled the wrong card. And you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. Bunch of mana. Bunch of mana. Oh, I'm 1 mana short. Oh, wait. I can play in my other Urborg. Keep the new one. Float mana. Consume Spirit for 12. Fireball. Yes! Alright, so we are making it to game 3. I'm going to restart the client. Hang on. Can we get some magical Christmas land shit up in game 3? Well, we're gonna see. It's all riding on this. Although we did have to surgical for that win. So they're gonna know we have surgical. Thank you for joining us on Restarting the Client Airlines. We hope you enjoy your flight. I've encountered an interesting bug. Apparently, none of these cards are in my collection. Alright. Okay. Let's, submit. Playing a deck where I don't own any of the cards. Just go the way of Yama Killer. Judge, opponent doesn't own their deck. It's just like me with a bunch of index cards label. Is that an Uno 6? Oh, high risk, high reward. My grandpa's deck doesn't have any cards, Kaiba. I'm gonna keep this. If they have Through the Breach or Emrakul in their opening hand, they're done. We draw a single land and this hand is good. Alright. Opponent mulled to 6. They play a Spire Bluff Canal. We draw a second Cabal Coffers. We lead on Thoughtseize. Through the Breach, opt Emrakul. Discard Emrakul. Surgical Emrakul! What brought in Blood Moon? Really? They're now on Snapcaster Bolt. They only have 3 Snapcasters and 2 bolts. I'm sorry, opponent. Opponent opts. They're on Snapcasters and Bolts versus a deck that gains 1,000,000 life and carries and has like only, oh, I don't know, 1,000,000,000,000 kill spells. Pass the turn. Channel points, here we come. Don't worry. Trust in Kano to lose this yet. Play second coffers. At least we're still making land drops, right? Alright. We hit nothing, but I kind of anticipated that. Pass the turn. We literally just need to draw lands now and we're fine. That is possible, Six Sigma. I could still lose that way. I could lose to like 12 turn Snapcaster beats without drawing another land. Or I could lose to the clock. Oh no. Yeah, no, I can't Baleful. I can't do anything. I can cast Erebos' Intervention X0. Alright, opponent plays a Temple, so that must be something they just drew. It appears my fortune may indeed return to me. Never mind, Urborg. Float a bunch of mana. Duress. What will you do now, opponent? Will you cryptic? Counter draw. Alright, play Liliana. Uptick. Get a swamp. Pass the turn. They Valakut Awakening. How expensive is this deck on Moto? The Stream Decker link will give you an estimation in tickets, but I don't know off the top of my head. I owned almost all the cards before I built it. The third Cabal coffers! Yeah? Uptick. Oh, I definitely don't have it listed right now. You'd have to go to the, like, YouTube video for it. Or the link I posted in deck suggestions or whatever. Play Obnixilis. I should have tapped for more mana. Yep. Here comes. Remand. Yeah. You should play more basics. So other than 4 coffers, 3 Urborg, and 2 Castle Lochthwain, it is basics. That's like 18 basics. Or 16. That's a lot. That was technically a punt, Clayton. Thank you. This might be a Blood Moon, actually. It is. This is fine. First punt ever you got to call? Really? Alright. Untap. We draw another Erebos' Intervention. Uptick. Get a swamp. Play a swamp. Play Obnixilis. I didn't float mana off coffers. Opponent has Counterspell. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Let's get it banned? Yeah, man. Let's do it. Opponent Prismari command. They're going to go looting while doing 2 damage to Liliana. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't get banned, but, like, if I was the cause of a deck being banned, that's, like, one of my life goals as a Magic streamer. I mean, Liliana's kind of just drawing us a card every turn, which is pretty sick. Pass the turn. Opponent bolts our face. I'm going to turn off auto yields in case their last card is Snapcaster. Liliana more like Ren and 6. This is a fairly costed Ren and 6 effect, though, and it only gets swamps. You can get, like, overgrown tombs and stuff with it, but you can't get, like, lands that cycle or stuff like that. We untap. We draw Worm Coil. Uptick Lily to 6. I mean, her ult just turns all of your swamps into Lake of the Dead, which is pretty sick. Play Worm Coil. Clayton! Do I need to send you to horny jail? Disapproving. Opponent Prismari commands, doing 2 damage to us. Why does everyone hate Ren and 6 so much? You have obviously never been Ren and 6'd. So we'll kill Snapcaster. You've never been Ren and 6 strip mined. Opponent kills the life linking token. We gain 1 life and go to 12. I'm holding it up all this time. We do not have a bonk command, actually. We draw Maze Mind Tome. Play a Swamp. Alt Liliana. Unlimited power! Each swamp taps for 4. Play Obnixilis. Opponent is going to Valakut Awakening to draw a card. You know, Sigma, to tell people to go to horny jail. Whatever that meme is. Go to combat. Attack for 3. You've never heard of that? Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play a land. And now they pass. We untap. Draw Thoughtseize. Uptick Obnixilis. Draw an extra card. Play a Swamp. Thoughtseize our opponent. Opponent is going to Archmage's Charm to gain control of our worm. This is fine, because what I'm about to do to them... No, we're not going to consume Spirit. Let's go, tutor for a card from outside the game, shall we? Cast Emrakul. Gets the Through the Breach deck. This is so mean. And for good measure, kill the worm. Next turn, untap. Draw a Swamp, play a Swamp, go to combat. You monster. I haven't gotten to win with the Emrakul yet. It felt like karmic justice after surgicaling all of theirs. Well, that's why Blood Moon's not good against this deck. It's like, we don't actually need coffers to win. That's true. Winners. Believers. Y'all get your points. Why are there so many one-ofs? There's actually a couple of reasons. The first one was, when I was constructing the deck, I was memeing a little bit. I was playing like one of every Liliana. With the intent being 2 or 3-fold. So reason number 1. We have a lot of singleton planeswalkers because we generate so much mana. If we draw all of our threats, we can play out all of our planeswalkers. We're not stuck with like 3 copies of Liliana of the Veil in our hand. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, all of our planeswalkers tend to do different things, or the same thing in different ways. So when I was playing Professor Onyx, she's an Edict, but she's also a life drain engine. She wins without being able to target my opponent, as an example. We're playing Ugin because we only need a singleton Ugin. We don't really want to draw him. Worst Fears is an effect that's amazing, but it is 8 mana, and it's difficult for us to actually cast. It's great to top deck, though, which is why it's not in the sideboard for the Masterminds acquisition. Wormcoil Engine, same reason. It's a gigantic life-gaining creature. But by having a diversified threat base in a deck that plays a lot of tutors and doesn't care about the mana cost of the tutors, we can always go get the best tool for the job. Now, that's the logic behind the threats. And a lot of you guys were asking me on the YouTube video, why all of the different kill spells? Like, that's because the different kill spells do different things. It helps protect you against things like Meddling Mage, against things like Unmoored Ego or Surgical, against things like Sanctum Prelate, against things like Gaddock Teague, as an example, because Baleful Mastery is amazing, but if your opponent plays Gaddock Teague, you can't cast like half your deck. And the remainder is we just draw a crap load of cards. So, like, we can afford to play other cards. Does anyone else have any questions about the deck? Lily of the Veil back in when? Lily of the Veil's not good in this deck. That's the only Liliana that's not good in this deck. Yes, can you 5-0 with it now? I'll be trying, yeah. I'll be trying to get this deck list posted because I love it so much. When are we adding mainboard Emrakul's? Never. We will almost never have the ability to cast it from the mainboard. It's strictly a Mastermind's acquisition target. And it's a way to win if your opponent is like Leyline of Sanctity. Oh, that reminds me. I need to add Feed the Swarm into the side. One of the best cards against this deck is actually Damping Sphere. I think I want Feed the Swarm instead of a Cling to Dust. And probably instead of a Collective Brutality, I think. No. Probably instead of a Surgical. No, I do want a 23rd land in this deck as well. I speculated about this in the video I recorded of this that you guys haven't seen yet. I was speculating about a 23rd land, but I wasn't sure what to cut. And frequently, what feels like it should be is Expedition Map, but Expedition Map, when it's good, is amazing. And like when it's bad, it's still kind of good. In order to beat the white-black Grief deck, have you considered including Leyline of Sanctity in the side? Yes, that is Obnixilis the Reignited. Yes, so you could build this deck in a way that you could play a Orzhov version of it, and you could play Leyline of Sanctity out of the board. The problem is you would need to play like exclusively Godless Shrines, because I don't think there's like a black-white battle land or cycling land. There's Savai Triome, but that's a tap land. And the problem is it increases the price of the deck, if that's a concern for you playing fetches, but it also negates the usefulness of this deck versus aggro to play black and white, because you're already gaining a bunch of life, which you don't need white for, while increasing the pain of the mana base. So you're going to be negating your own life gain. So you're kind of back to being just like an average matchup versus aggro. Whereas here, you're also increasing your softness to Blood Moon, which this deck is sort of soft to Blood Moon, but not really. Shoot, there was something else I was going to bring up about that. You could just play Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard of this deck and not play any lands to support it, and just mulligan to it every game, or you could play like Witchbane Orb. There's definitely a version of this deck that is playing a Karn Wishboard. I just haven't gotten around to building it yet, and I don't really want to, because while that might be better, this is a lot more fun to play. So, are there any other really good black Planeswalkers in Modern? Let's take a look. Because if there was ever going to be a Planeswalker Super Friends deck, it's hilariously the mono black one. I could play Valky and we could splash for Valky. Yeah, so what I was saying about this deck in particular is one of its primary weaknesses in the ways that it loses is by running out of resources before adequately dealing with what your opponent's doing. So if you could play Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard like 8-Rack used to, even though it was mono black, and mulligan to it aggressively. The problem is it doesn't beat the decks that Leyline of Sanctity is good against. it generally just slows them down. And you already have like some decreased mulligan luck with the multiple coffers, multiple Urborg hands. And so you're introducing variants where really it's kind of sketchy if you do that. One of the things I'm kind of interested in is potentially splashing green in this list, because then you can start playing Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy as your kill spells of choice, and then you can start playing things like Ancient Stirrings, or you could play Abundant Growth, or what is it? Not Abundant Growth. The Strixhaven Mystical Archive Abundant Harvest. That's the card. That's the kind of card I want to be playing in this deck. Just always get a non-land or a land. I kind of want to play Explorers in this deck, because playing additional swamps on the way to Cabal coffers while drawing cards seems pretty sick. So there's several different evolutions of this deck I'm interested in playing. I just really wanted to play a mono black deck when I first built this, so... Yes. So one of the biggest things, I wish mono black had more cycling spells in Modern. Like there's Scarab Feast, there's Easy Prey. As terms of like Modern playable, Blacktron didn't do it for me. This deck is everything Blacktron wanted to be and more. This is the deck I was trying to design with the tools in hand, basically. I wanted to play Sadistic Sacrament in this deck, because that's really mean if you can kick it. Instead of playing Karn board, is it Karn Scion? I think Karn Great Creator is still the way to go if you were going to play a Karn board. Yeah, no, it is a good card advantage engine. Archfiend of Ifnir is kind of funny. Yeah, but... So... One of the reasons that our only creature is Wormcoil is because it makes our opponent side out all of their creature removal, and then if we want to, we can bring in Kalitas, we can bring in Gonti, and actually have a little bit more game. But most decks have to run creature removal, and versus us, it's just not good. Unless it's like Baleful Mastery or Vraska's Contempt, where they can hit a creature or Planeswalker. I tried playing Razaketh's Right in this deck. The cycling Demonic Tutor for 5 mana. The issue with that is I have to lose too much consistency in like the early game. Because like these are the only spells I can really play with. Like I could drop an Obnixilis and I could play a different Planeswalker in the slot. Like I could even drop Obnixilis and play Karn Liberated. I could play Karn Liberated. I don't know why my brain just all of a sudden got really scattered, but I've kind of been overworking it today. Are there any good, like, X spells that I haven't considered? Oh, one of the upgrades I was considering is if you play mono Snowlands, you can play Dead of Winter as your sweeper of choice instead of Damnation. It's not quite as good as Damnation, I think, because by the time you have 4 lands and it's just a Mutilate, you're only saving 1 mana, which in a deck with Cabal Coffers probably doesn't matter all that much. Dark Salvation is kind of fun, but is very difficult to actually make as a removal spell. What does this do? Mill X cards? Oh yeah, we have no creatures in our deck. We have like 1. Exsanguinate is... I could play Diabolic Revelation. Problem is that card, we're already winning by the time we have 19 mana. I used to do that in EDH, though, when I built an EDH deck that was similar to this. Death Cloud? Death Cloud would kill us, too, though. Most of the time, anyway. Painful Quandary. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. Yeah, so that's the other cool thing about this deck, is it can win any way that it wants to. Like, it doesn't have to win with any of the cards here. You can play Cruel Reality. You can play Curse of Misfortunes. You can play, I don't know, Walking Ballista. Like, you could play Grind Clock. There's just... It's whatever you want to do with this sort of thing. And obviously there are threats that are going to be better than others. Are you kidding me? I don't think so. I think Worst Fears is probably one of the best mono-black spells you could be playing in this deck. At worst, at the absolute worst, it's Time Warp. At absolute best, it kills your opponent. Oh gosh, there goes my phone. Eldest Reborn? Finale of Eternity was one of the ones I was considering. Kind of missed Torment of Hailfire. We have it in the sideboard as a wish target to end the game. So that was my when I updated the deck, I added more tutors. I have 2 Masterminds acquisition instead of just 1. And the logic behind that was we could go get whatever we needed to kill our opponent out of the sideboard, rather than top deck like another threat that may or may not end the game. We can actually just go get whatever we need if we're already winning. It's slightly better if you've already slowed down your aggro opponent too and you need to get for a damnation or something like that. I'm wondering if the correct number of spells, or if the correct number of coffers to play in this deck is actually 3 instead of 4. It's definitely a card we want to draw every game, but in multiples it's really bad unless you have Urborg. And Urborg in multiples is terrible. A Damnable Pact? I have to see what this card is. I just took... Target player draws X cards and loses X life. I think if we were going to play a spell like that, we would play Sign in Blood. I know the highest upside of that is potentially killing your opponent with it, but I genuinely don't think you'll ever do that. It is actually modern legal because it was a Sultai or Abzan card from Fate Reforged, I think, or Dragons of Tarkir. I don't remember 100%, but that's where it was printed originally. Although, actually playing a Sign in Blood or 2 might not be bad. That might help with our early game cycling problem. Erebos, they're indestructible, so they don't get hit by much removal. I think we would rather play Greed. Erebos is good because it is indestructible. And it's good because it probably will never turn into a creature. Temporal Extortion. I actually thought about that card. Temporal Extortion is one of my personal favorite cards. I've never made it work in a deck. We should make mono black turns. We should just play like 8 or 4 Worst Fears for Temporal Extortion. Big furry monster. Nice. You know what? I'll try running a Sign in Blood over, I guess, maybe the 4th Erebos' Intervention. Because 2 felt right in the previous list. I'm gonna try Sign in Blood. Okay. So I am going to restart the client, and then I'll play another game with this because this is what people want to see. Yeah, I don't have the full art one, unfortunately. No, no, silver bordered cards aren't on Moto. They're cards that make logical sense but don't work within the rules. Yeah, he decided he wanted to go lay on a blanket. Just being weird. All right. Let's play another 2-man, shall we? Versus an unknown opponent, this is probably fine as long as they play creatures. Have I talked about Nightmare Incursion? Search target player's library for up to X cards, where X is the number of swamps you control, then exile them. Instead of that card, if we wanted that effect, we would play... We would play Sadistic Sacrament. It's a much stronger and easier to cast effect. Play Swamp. Plus, like, kicking Sad Sack just wins. Dark Petition is a really good tutor. The problem is we don't need the mana refund. Increasing Ambition is better than Dark Petition because it goes and gets multiple cards on its flashback. So this looks like Living End. The mono blue version of Living End. I think we'll be fine. Play Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent cycles an Architects of Will. And then cycles a Windcaller Raven. They untap. They play a Spire Bluff Canal. Shardless Agent. So they're going to cascade into Living End. So what we do is we exile 2 of the creatures. Haunting Echo seems like it could be legit. Oh, yeah, no, totally. I started the match, otherwise I would have done the poll. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. So opponent gets a 3/3 off of their Shardless Agent. The only issue with Haunting Echoes is it's better in a deck that... it's better in a deck that mills your opponent, and we don't do that. Like... It's potentially very good. Like, the ceiling of it is huge, right? But... we'll just go ahead and full price Dismember. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. And scoops. Wow! They're holding all their Living Ends? That's impressive. Alright, Collective Brutality's in, Damnation's in, and Surgical Extraction in. Probably Nile Spellbomb as well. So Bloodchief's Thirst coming out because it doesn't do anything. Liliana the Last Hope's really bad here. I don't think I need Sign in Blood. Probably don't need Liliana the Dark Realms. And I'll cut... I'm only going to run 2 Collective Brutality. I already voted for Win in my heart. Oh goodness, who am I ignoring? Yeah, this looks like a keep. Opponent leads on Misty Rainforest. We untap, draw Liliana Dreadhorde General, play a swamp, play a map, pass the turn. Want to play cracks for an island, so they're going to cycle here. Cycle for Curator of Mysteries. I enjoy when a deck has Incidental Grave Hate mainboard. This has Incidental Grave Hate, Incidental Life Gain, is a pile of kill spells and hand hate. It's just like, whatever your strategy is, we've got a plan. Opponent evokes Foundation Breaker? Not what I expected, but okay. We untap. We draw a swamp. I could duress here, but I think because my opponent's Cascader is a creature, I'm just going to leave up Erebos' Intervention. They have exactly 2 creatures, so... If we ever wanted really hardcore Grave Hate, too, we could always play, we could always play Leyline. And we're in the colors, we could even cast it if we had to, you know? Draw a swamp. Play a swamp. Pass the turn. They cycle Curator. They cycle Curator. And they cycle Glass Dust Hulk. Alright. They untap. They draw. I really hope they go for it here. Just blow them out again with Erebos' Intervention. They play a Misty. Yep. Let's see what they cascade into. They have 5 creatures in the grave. I can get all but 1. They could have like a Spell Piercer to spell. That would be bad. That would mean we need to draw Damnation. But like, this is good, right? I'm kind of thinking about Mastermind's acquisition to go get her Surgical. It can't be the correct play, but I really want to. They just scoop. They're like, I'm done with this. That's fantastic, man. Erebos' Intervention. The most broken spell you didn't know existed. Hashtag got him. Oh, man. That is just unnecessarily brutal. Main deck Grave. The best part is, it's our best kill spell, too. Like, when you have Cabal Coffers, and you're playing against Burn, and you just, like, Erebos' Intervention x20, and you gain back all the life they have ever done, to, like, damage that they've done to you, and more, while killing their threat. It's pretty tilting. Could have easily made money there. Like you would have believed in Kano for even 1 second. Alright, let's start up a prediction. Sorry, I got distracted. Apparently we surgicaled Emrakul versus Antog. Is there enough life in this deck to support Bitter Blossom? I actually am not sure. I don't think so. Bitter Blossom is a bad card, according to many streamers. Doubt. Bitter Blossom is a really good card. Problem is, it might be good versus control in mid-range. Mid-range, I think, is where we're going to struggle the most. We're actually really well off against control because of all of the hand hate and thought distortion specifically. 11k versus 500 on this prediction. Wow. Big money trading hands tonight. You got about a minute left if you want to add your points to the pot. Mama needs a new deck submission. Oh, you guys are awesome. All right, I can't keep a one-lander even with two pieces of hand hate, so we are going to mulligan. This, on the other hand, looks like a great keep. I'll be putting back Obnixilis, I think. Oh boy, Kano's famous last words. Alright, we draw Ugin. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize our opponent. Oh, it's Enchantress with Grizzly Salvage. Take Sterling Grove. Pass the turn. I mean, we have Ugin, so even if they... As long as they don't have, like, a instantaneous win combination, we should be fine. Play a Swamp. Play Maze Mind. Yeah, they could be playing Curses. I don't know. Commune with the Gods, Bloodbraid Marauder, and Knight of Souls Betrayer. They're playing the Reconstruct, or whatever it's called, the white suspend spell that reanimates all their enchantments. That's why they got the Bloodbraid Marauder, and that's what they put in their hand. So I forgot to scry on their end step. That was a punt. Someone mark the punt on the board, please. Thank you. Draw Urborg. Thank you, Halsey. It's not a punt if you wanted it. Well, I didn't. That's the thing. So play Urborg. Thoughtseize my opponent. Oh, they used Grizzly Salvage, actually. Oh, they have another one. Alright, then. Overwhelming Splendor. There we go. And they got two Bloodbraid Marauders, do they? Well, take one. They got Delirium. Time to leave up Erebos' intervention and get him. Opponent untaps. They draw. They shock Stomping Ground. Here comes the Cascade. They cast Resurgent Belief. Opponent's deck seems super sweet. Yeah, it does. The deck's really awesome. Alright, return all enchantment cards, huh? Well, let's get rid of Sterling Grove and Overwhelming Splendor. That should be enough, right? They're only going to get back Knight of Souls Betrayal, which will kill Bloodbraid Marauder. Saves me the trouble of having to use the kill spell. We untap. We draw. Cabal Coffers. What do you know? Play Cabal Coffers. Activate Cabal Coffers. Let's go ahead and draw a card, I think. We play Maze Mind Tome. Is Liliana Vess good for this deck? Liliana Vess actually could be. I didn't play her actually because I don't have any. What did we learn today? Erebos' Intervention is actually absurd when you have the mana to cast it at all times. But it plays a Windswept Heath. Stop on our opponent's end step. Scry. Collective Brutality to the bottom. Untap. Go ahead and draw. Inquisition. How could you not own a copy of each unique art Liliana? Just hadn't gotten around to it. Lead on Inquisition. You're playing 4 Intervention? Oh, Erebos' Intervention? I just took 1 out. I'm only playing 3 right now. I dropped 1 for a Sign in Blood. We draw Thoughtseize. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. I mean, isn't Liliana, like, canonically 300 or 400 years old? She was kept eternally youthful by the pact she made with 4 demons. Grizzlebrand, Razaketh, Kothoped, and I don't remember what the last one was. Opponent Grizzly Salvage. I don't know if they got anything or not. We untap. Bells and Lock, that's the other one. How much mana do I have? Almost. Almost enough. So we're going to draw a card first. Gain life. Increasing Ambition. Play Increasing Ambition. Get a second Cabal Coffers. Play it. Thoughtseize. We'll just hand check again. There's basically no reason not to do this. Alright. Pass the turn. Grizzlebrand, Bells and Lock, Kothoped, and Razaketh are the 4 demons. Opponent has Hall of Heliod's Generosity, which is what they just drew. Scry on their end step. Cabal Coffers number 3? Hell yeah! Something Blue MTG, thank you for following. Cabal Coffers number 3. All the mana. All the mana in the world. 17. Alright. Flashback Increasing Ambition. Let's get Worst Fears to play as a Time Warp and Mastermind's Acquisition. Cast Worst Fears on our opponent. Of course. Draw an extra card. Gain more life. Consume Spirit. Oh, okay, good. I was really worried I was going to have to go get Torment of Hailfire. They draw Resurgent Belief, and they scoop. Ah, what a day. What a lovely day. Okay. So versus this opponent, I really want Surgical. I want Collective Brutality, Feed the Swarm, and Lily is canonically 4,000 believes 4,000 years old. That's impressive. All right. So Blood Chief's Thirst doesn't actually appear to be very good in this matchup. Neither does Dismember or Consuming Vapors. Demons, man. Beats Botox every time. Oh gosh. Oh, and Liliana the Last Hope probably isn't gonna be very good. She made the pacts with the demons to maintain her old walker power and to remain eternally youthful. Although they couldn't keep her like old walker status basically. So this hand is actually not bad. I'm gonna keep. Something to keep her brother alive. That was before that. That was what caused her to become a planeswalker in the first place. I thought that was really weird because I think that was only in one novel deck record. I don't even know if that's canon. Yes, she killed her brother. She killed her brother during the events of the most recent Liliana story. Or most recent Dominaria story. I'm going to leave up Erebos' intervention. She tried to revive him in the first place because she was a healer originally. So they Grizzly salvaged these cards. They Grizzly salvaging again. Collective Brutality. Okay, let's exile Overwhelming Splendor and Greater Oromancy. So they can take Thoughtseize from us. We untap. We draw Maze Mind Tome. If they decide to do something like that to show a character's spark igniting, which was the whole point of Magic Origins, it will most likely be in a set where flip cards are already confirmed to be there. So, I mean, Innistrad would be a good bet. Because they were saying they had logistical issues making only 5 flip cards in Magic Origins. No, not every set has flip cards. Inquisition, I will actually keep on top. Opponent's just immediately going to nuke that. Okay. Lily gave up on trying to bring Gideon back. Is that canon? I know she was doing something about it in Strixhaven. Yeah, we're going to Inquisition. As much as I'd like to draw an extra card, I need to see what my opponent's got. Mono lands. Alright. Play Maze Mind Tome. Opponent cracks Wooded Foothills. Gets Temple Garden. They play a Temple Garden tapped. They play a Destiny Spinner. Creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. Target land becomes an XX elemental with trample and haste until end of turn, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Fair enough. She tried to retire on Strixhaven. I guess that makes sense. Scry with Maze Mind Tome. Collective Brutality doesn't do anything here. We untap. I'm not going to scry before draw. Okay, let's draw a card. Another swamp is perfect. Pass the turn. So as long as we don't die to the Destiny Spinner here, or my opponent doesn't... Well, they have nothing to bring back from their Grizzly salvages earlier, because we hit their important cards. Oh, yeah, the modal dual-faced cards. You know, I forgot about that. I'm going to scry here to see if I can get a Coffers. Baleful Mastery. I'm going to put on the bottom. We draw a Swamp. So let's Increasing Ambition. Get Cabal Coffers. Play Swamp. Pass the turn. No, she won't. It won't be the last version of her. She might not show up for a while, but it's definitely not going to be the last version of her. She's way too popular of a character. I think she ranks number 2 behind Jace. Jace being their most popular character. So my opponent communed with the gods. How many cards does that dump into the grave? Top 5? Alright, we untap. We get an Urborg. Play Urborg. Play Liliana. Barter in Blood. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play Sithis. Harvest's Hand. How's he get out of here? I'm not pregnant with Karn's child. Castle Lochthwain to the bottom. We untap. Torgal the Mountaintop Shipmaker. Yes. I know what flavor text that's from. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So my opponent's on 17. Play Cabal Coffers. How much mana does this give us? I mean, play Ugin. Imagine a cube, but only planeswalkers? Why? Why? Ugin. Yes, Ugin. Make a zombie. Pass the turn. Now, I guess as long as my opponent doesn't cast or reanimate Overwhelming Splendor, we're fine. Best magic character, clearly Yargle. He just wants to bargle. Uh-oh. Is this Overwhelming Splendor? The legendary hardcast Overwhelming Splendor. Gargle my Yargle. Get out of here. That's disgusting. We draw a Swamp. I don't even know what that means. It's just disgusting. Oh, we can still activate loyalty abilities? Oh, never mind. We're gonna go get Feed the Swarm and Mastermind's Acquisition. We'll go ahead and feed the Swarm. Oh, actually, I don't want to feed the Swarm. I'd lose 10 life. So let's go get a card we own from outside the game, shall we? Just by luck, my opponent would be like, Fireball, and you're dead. Get Torment of Hailfire. Pass the turn. Yes, Kano, take the damage. Take the damage, Kano. Straw banning Halsey's voice. I bet he sounds like that. I'm just kidding, Halsey. You're super nice to me all the time. Here I am being a raging asshole. Does Trading Post belong here? It might. If we played more Wormcoil engines, Trading Post becomes amazing. Someone hasn't watched your stream? I actually haven't. I'm sorry. Opponent gets back all of the enchantments we just destroyed. Uh-oh, they're attacking our planeswalkers with haste and trample. Alright. So Ugin no longer in alt range. Your homework is to now watch the stream tomorrow. I will have no time to do anything for like the next 5 days, and I'm not even making that up. So we kill Sithis, play a swamp, activate coffers, cast a magnanimously huge Torment of Hailfire. Catch. And we got him. Believers. Believers win. Does that mean I'm 3 for 3 playing this deck on stream tonight? Mana Tithe. I think I would Shade Scoop if I got a Torment of Hailfire to like 900 and Mana Tithe. Could have been a Magic League. You have a deck you'd like to redeem? Is it eggs? Because I'll play the eggs deck for a video. I will do that. I like this deck. It's doubled my channel points. This is by far my new favorite deck. And it's not close. I have been wanting to play a unique monocolored strategy for a while, and this definitely counts. So, so you don't, it's split, right? You get a percentage of the pot equal to what your bet is. You win back your bet, and then your percentage of the opposing side. It doesn't double the points you put in. It's based on how many people bet against you. And then Kano never played Tron again. I didn't even like playing Tron. You're going to try and mess with Martyr Proc soon? Fair enough. Fair enough. The enchantment actually does kind of power up Martyr Proc, doesn't it? The new 3-mana one. So, I'm kind of sorry, but I think I'm going to have to call the stream early. I was going to start streaming sooner, but work kept me late an hour and a half. So, next Wednesday, expect the stream might be a little bit longer. I will be in a different location. The stream quality setup might be a little bit worse. There might be a little bit more of an echo or sound crap quality, but I'll do what I can to mitigate it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, because I sure did. I hope work's kinder to me as well. Thank you, Kaiju Squid. That's very nice of you to say. Yargle is disappointed in you. I'm going to have to put a Yargle in the sideboard for meme material. Just call in on Wednesdays. More Coffers control in the future. There will be, don't worry. There'll have to be other decks to split it up, because if you eat your same food every day of the week, it's going to get tiring, right? So there'll be other decks to break it up, but we will be playing this deck a lot more in the future. So, thank you all so much for watching. You're all wonderful human beings. Thank you again to Something Blue MTG Garnoth for following, as well as XPhoenix22. And Clayton for resubscribing, Dick Record for rating. You guys are awesome. I hope to see you guys again soon. Good night, everybody. Bye.